Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie. Today I'm going to be talking about a game called And Roger. This game should be releasing today by the time this video comes out. And it's a visual novel, which I'm not typically always fond of. I'm really hit or miss with that genre, but this kind of flew completely under the radar. I had never even heard of this game, and I watch like every showcase. I keep up with indie games, and of course there's always going to be like a lot of games that I'm not going to know or know of, but for the most part I know of most. I kind of just keep up with everything, so seeing this kind of just pop up out of nowhere. I was actually about a week ago, I was scrolling through Blue Sky and I saw Janet Garcia posted about this game, and she was really praising the demo. And Janet's somebody that I respect in the gaming space, and I usually tend to like a lot of the games that she enjoys. And I love Minmax, and she was also on Kind of Funny before, and yeah, she's just somebody who I respect. So of course I'm gonna like go check it out. I was like, I might as well check out the demo. You know, it's supposedly short, and see how it is. And then about a day later, I got the opportunity to review the entire game. So I was like, well, I haven't played the demo, but it's only supposed to be maybe about an hour long or so, so I might as well just jump into it, the whole entire game. So that's what I did, and it is pretty much exactly like an hour long. But And Roger is a visual novel. It is about a girl who wakes up disoriented, like in her bedroom, and she doesn't know kind of like what's going on. She goes to the bathroom and brushes her teeth, which there's like a little mini game and stuff that you get to do for her brushing her teeth. But when she goes into the living room, she sees her father laying down on the couch, and as her vision because her vision's like blurry and she's just disoriented, she sees that the guy on her couch is not actually her father. And so she's like, where is my dad, and who is this man? And it gets really creepy. The tone is really kind of dark, and from what it seems, it's only like an hour long, so I can't really explain too much of the story without going into like too much detail with spoilers, because this game ends up not being what it seems from the beginning. But from the beginning, it seems like it's like super dark and something that's kind of like concerning because it's involving a child. There are a lot of really dark themes that may be really uncomfortable for a lot of people. So just going in there, just be aware of that. But this game is a really beautiful story about this girl named Sophia, and it spans over 3 different chapters where she grows up, and then she marries this man named Roger. And then Roger's trying to explain to her like what's going on, because she keeps having these flashbacks and stuff and doesn't really know exactly what's going on. And it's really confusing at first because you're like, I'm not really connecting the dots here, and then it starts to click and you're like, oh, I understand. I get where this is going. But the way that it like kind of like sets up for it just really it seems a lot worse than what it is still bad, and it's like sad, but it's completely opposite of what you expect it to be. And while it's a visual novel, and this is something that I do like with visual novels, is when they are not just simply like click and go, and sometimes they add a little bit of interaction. It does have point and click mechanics to it, where there's like, usually there's a dot on the screen, and the dot you can slide it around, or you can I don't know, you can like kind of There's like there's a part where you have to sneak, so you have to click on the dot when the man's not looking. This is as you're a young kid. When the man's not looking, click on the dot real quick to run across. There's parts where your vision is blurry and you're trying to like unlock a door and you're trying to find the key, but there's all these like dots that are floating around the screen, and so you'll have to click the correct dot. And sometimes it gets a little confusing, especially in the parts where you have to like drag the dot around. Sometimes I feel like you kind of have to really move the mouse a certain way to get it to go. But other than that, I think it's really cool, and the visuals are really really nice. It's kind of like it's drawn, like just pencil, hand drawn, and then there's kind of like watercolors. Some of them are like black and white. Some of the scenes are. But yeah, as you go over the 3 chapters, it really starts to unfold, and there are parts that are like really really sad. Of course, there's the beginning that is kind of uncomfortable. There are parts where, like, especially in the beginning, where it gets really intense. So like when you're trying to unlock the door and you're being chased, you really kind of like feel it. It's kind of like heart pounding, trying to get through the scene and everything. So I think it's, for it only being an hour, I think the message it puts out and the story itself, I think, is really well done. There were parts where I kind of would have liked a little more explanation, but then when you get to it, you understand exactly what's going on. So I think the suspense of it, leads up to it being a really good game. I think, for what it is, and I think this may be their first game. I'm not really sure. Terry Hand Studio is the developer of this, and I highly suggest this. I think it's worth looking into. It's got a really good story, and I'd give it like a 4 out of 5. Again, I'm not like super into visual novels, but I do like the story that it told, and the music's also really nice too. It's it has like intense music, like when you're kind of like trying to run away, and then it's got kind of like cozy vibes and the happy parts, So yeah, definitely look into Anne Roger. And like I said, like I cannot go into specifics. I wish I could kind of explain more of what this game is about, but by doing that, you would be spoiling the entirety of the story, and it's really something that you really have to go in blind and not know what the result is, I think, to enjoy it. So yeah, definitely look into this, and yeah, that's it for today, and I will see you guys next time.